My question is, how do I care less about what other people are thinking?
By thinking about other things.
Okay. Because I feel like I'll get in a place where it's like, I have an idea of what I want, and I know that it's coming, and it feels really good. And then I'll be like, is that kind of weird? Or am I just being too laid back about it? And are they going to think I'm being lazy? You know, like it's like I kind of push myself away from the thing I'm moving towards.
No two people want exactly the same thing, and people aren't approaching life in the same way. But along your physical trail, you've picked up habits from other humans that didn't work very well for them and won't work very well for you. So when you start shedding some of those habits, like micromanaging things and by sticking your nose in everybody else's business and by worrying too much about what people think about your business, what begins to happen is you don't succeed either. They've taught through the clarity of their example, and what they've taught is something that isn't working for them, and so you mimic it, and then it doesn't work for you, and then your relationships are all about blaming each other for things not having gone better. Or you can take the bounce. You see, it's such a simple thing. When you accept that you've already put stuff in the vortex and it's already ready and it's up here and it's ready for you to begin receiving it, and all you got to do is get in the receiving mode, and that's not hard because all you got to do is quiet your mind or think a positive thought about something and stay off the subjects that bother you and get on the subjects that you like and go to the movies that feel good and talk to the friends that feel good and read the books that feel good and do the things that feel good and do the things that feel good and do the things that feel good and don't do the things that don't feel good and care about being satisfied and don't do things that aren't satisfying so that you're just feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. Those people who care about you the most will be so happy about even if you do it a different way, what they really are rooting for is your success, because everyone wants that for everyone, whether they know that they do or not. So when you're thriving on some level, maybe it's buried so deep they can't show it to you, they feel better. You just can't help but help people when you're thriving. And so actually what you're saying to us, this is what these words amounted to. Abraham, should I pinch myself off from my knowledge and reservoir of well-being because most others have done that and I don't want to stand out and upset them? Or should I thrive and maybe annoy them a little bit? And we say, thrive and annoy and annoy and annoy and annoy and annoy them. Because they would not be annoyed. They would not be able to find negative emotion if you weren't demonstrating something they want. And they can only be helped by the demonstration of the things that they want. And after a little while, they may even say, how do you do that? How were you able to feel good when I know for sure that you didn't have something that you wanted? And you say, because my eye wasn't on what I didn't have. My eye was on where I was going. Oh, that's interesting. Well, how come you're happy all the time? Because I figured out a while ago that feeling good feels good. And that I liked it better than feeling bad. So I started noticing what things I thought that didn't feel good and what thoughts I thought that did feel good. And I started thinking more of the thoughts that felt good. And the more I thought about the things that felt good, the more things that felt good came to me. And so here I am, happy all the time.
Perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
But what you were really talking about was a little bit different than the way you presented it. Because what you were talking about is more about what you're thinking about you than about what they're thinking about you.
Okay, yes.
But the answers are all the same.
Okay.
It's just easier to hear it when it's about them. Your own beliefs get in the way. So we're going to give you an example of something not very important, but it will be a good example. So at Esther's guest house in San Diego, the house was purchased by Jerry and Esther and renovated about 10 years ago. And at the time it was purchased, it's a Tuscan style. And they found some floor tile that is clay, and it was beautiful. And the design and pattern that it was laid were really, really special. And they okayed it. Now, they weren't around while the house was being constructed or reconstructed. They were on the road in their bus in many other places. So they were doing most of this renovation through pictures and texts and such. So they chose a beautiful tile, and the people who were building it couldn't find the tile that they chose, so they substituted it for a tile that wasn't glazed and explained to Jerry and Esther, we'll glaze it later.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a tile down that wasn't glazed, and then they put a sealant on it that never looked good ever. And there's a lot of it. It's a big house. It's the main floor, even out onto all of the courtyards and patios. It's a lot of it. And then as it began to rain outside, some of it even eroded because they couldn't really seal it well. And so, not just lately, but for 10 years, Esther has not been happy with that tile because they didn't do what they said they were going to do. So, it's obvious that the tile isn't pleasing to Esther, like a belief that isn't pleasing. And Esther certainly has the wherewithal to rip it all out and put something more pleasing in. She's not there most of the time, so it wouldn't be any inconvenience. But she has a series of beliefs that keep her from doing that. It would be disruptive. True. We'd have to move everything out of the house. True again. Have to find a place to put it. True again. Need some trucks to haul it away. True again. Movers might bang it up. That could happen. Might take a long time, and I might want to come back. In other words, a whole bunch of things, all true, all beliefs, that she's used as her excuse to tolerate something she's never liked. So, every time she renews her relationship with that house, she remembers the injustice of them choosing the tile that's not right. She remembers clearly letting them know that it needed to have a good seal on it. She remembered explaining to them what her standards were. And she remembered them apparently not having the interest or the wherewithal to give her what she wanted. These beliefs she keeps renewing, keep being in the way year after year after year after year after year on something that is so simple. Another belief, floor cost a lot. They should replace it. They can't afford to replace it. I'll have to do it. Not fair. How screwy is this? Beliefs that they're not even relevant, they're not even accurate, they're beliefs that don't matter at all. They are beliefs that are this big when her desire is this big. But because she's carried them forward every time she's walked in the house, year after year after year, they're vivid and real and in the way. The Vortex could satisfy all of that. The Vortex could do this easily. The Vortex could accomplish this without any disruption at all. The Vortex could bring just the right people and the right crew and the right equipment and the right product and make this happen. But Esther doesn't have access to that because she's got beliefs that are in the way. You see what we're getting at? She's got valid beliefs that are in the way. They were valid then, and they're valid now. And they were practiced then, and they're practiced now. And they were in the way then, and they're in the way now. Isn't that interesting? Why not just stop thinking the thoughts that you've been thinking that are in the way? So, what if Esther could return there, and she could walk in, and she could see that floor, and she could feel different about it because she's practiced feeling different about it before she got there? What if, when she sees it, she thinks, easy to replace? What if she sees it, she would think, all in good time? What if she stopped thinking those blameful thoughts? What if she stopped thinking those unfairness thoughts? What if she stopped keeping those active? Because, you see, if she didn't think them, they wouldn't be being thought. And if they weren't being thought, they would not be causing resistance. And if there was no resistance, the solution would have come 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago. Doesn't matter when it comes, but we think it's time for Esther to let go of her negative story. If you were new to her house, you'd say, come on in, the floor is ugly. It's supposed to be really pretty. It was supposed to be glazed tile. Should have seen the sample they brought us. It was really beautiful. But they couldn't get that, and so they substituted this, and they said that they would glaze it, but they didn't get the right glaze. And then they put the glaze on it. The glaze was never right. The glaze started wearing off right away. Look under these chairs. Look under the table. Look how worn it is under the table. And come outside. Look out here. See that hole? That's because the rain gutter drips right there, and it makes that tile's just dissolving altogether. And why? They didn't put glazed tiles down. Everybody that's been to her house has heard that story. You're all invited. Come on down. She'll tell you the story. But as long as she keeps telling that story, no easy solution will come. And since Esther's into easy, and since it's hard, she just doesn't do it. And so she just doesn't like the floor, which is why she wants to tell you the story. Because she thinks she should like that floor. She thinks she deserves a floor that she likes. She does deserve a floor that she likes, but she can't get it. Not this way. And while this seems like a really silly thing, because there are a lot more important things that people are thinking about, still, you keep renewing past relationships, or the way someone spoke to you, or how somebody feels about you, or the history of this or the history of that. There are monuments all over the place as people keep renewing their discontent. They keep renewing their dissatisfaction about this and this and this and this, never for a moment realizing that all they're really doing is blocking their own good ideas, blocking their own energy flow, blocking their own ease and leverage and worthiness. Really good, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Something more?
Very much.